Greetings, everybody. It's Pneuma here, and today I am inspired to talk about peace. Peace in chaos and true inner peace. As it genuinely takes some know-how to be able to live in peace. If we're not being confronted with our own internal issues of victimhood and lack and feelings of inadequacy, then we're looking outside and we're seeing suffering all over the planet with others in lack of resources and oppression and all the rest. And sometimes it feels almost blasphemous to speak of peace when we're in the middle of such chaos. But there really genuinely is peace that we can experience in our lives. It's something that we can experience even in the midst of all of this chaos and all of this pain and suffering around us, and even in the midst of all of the voices in our heads that tell us that we're not worthy and that want to make us feel disempowered or like victims. And it really starts from an understanding of our right place within reality, which I know is such a big thing to talk about, but it's something that is real and we have access to, and it's just a knowing of our place in reality. And there's a real deep power in knowing what's actually going on. And it is with a great conviction that I say the things that I'm saying, which is the world around us, and including even the body, is truly the byproduct of our minds. They're not real in the sense that we think that they're real. They don't have a life of their own, but we give them life through our minds and through the patterning of our thoughts. And beneath that, the part of us that even makes it possible for our minds to create the patterning and perspectives that make up the world around us is a deeper mind. It's as deep as the deepest place in the whole universe. It's the deepest part of everything, and it's our shared soul. It's our shared spirit. It's where we all come from. It's the substance of where we all come from, and it's real. And it's kind of like when you see aspen trees that are growing and you see them sticking up all over a forest, and you think there's just tons of different trees, but you go underneath and it's an entire system of one tree. Or like mushrooms that they grow above the ground and you think it's just a bunch of mushrooms, but you go underneath and it's just one mushroom with a whole bunch of little parts sticking up above the ground. That's how it is with us. There's really just one of us, and we're just sticking up all over the place in all different forms and bodies and perspectives and forms everywhere. And from that place where we're poking up everywhere, we have the power to create perception and experiences and form. And we do it through a multitude of forms and dimensions all over the place. But when we can really learn to access the mainframe, so to speak, the place that we all come together, then we have access to the accurate perspective of what's going on. And the benefit of that is that once we see things as they are, then we have the power to work with it, kind of like with an internet. If we understand that we have access to the internet, we can work with the internet. It's the same kind of thing, only much, 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 much bigger than that. And so beneath everything, beneath all form, is substance. It's what we call God or divine light or truth or goodness or love, the one mind, oneness, universal consciousness, Christ consciousness. All of it is one thing. And it's the thing that brings us all together. It's the thing that we all are. And this is something that people feel in deep meditation. Sometimes people just are born with this knowingness and this awareness. We all go through many lifetimes and journeys in order to come to these awarenesses, and we're all in different places and we all get there in different ways. But meditation, sacred plant medicines, transcendental breath work, ecstatic experiences, awe and wonder of beauty, art, many different things can bring us to the remembrance of this knowing that we all have inside. And when we do remember it, then, like I said, we can put everything into its right place. And then we look out at the world around us, including the body, and we're not looking for validation from that, or we're not looking for feelings of worthiness or our empowerment. We're not looking to be loved, but instead we realize that we can't get anything from what we're creating. Instead, we have to tap into the source of who we are, by which we're creating, and then we can bring in our own remembrance, our own connection, our own divine light, and then we flow from that place, a deeper place, into the place of form, what we desire, and then we become creative co-creators, creative participants, creative masters in the creation process. It's kind of like being in a dream and knowing the difference between just being in a dream and then being in a lucid dream. And when you're just in a dream, you're dreaming all this stuff up and your subconscious is going crazy and all these things are happening and you think it's real, and then you wake up and you're like, wow, it was a dream. But when you lucid dream, then you go into that dream and you say, this is a dream. And you say, oh, wow, this is all my subconscious. This is all happening for my subconscious. And then you have the power to do something about it. And some people, will learn to change their dreams or fly in their dreams, or sometimes even study their subconscious from their dreams or heal things in their waking life. There's lots you can do in a dream once you're lucid. In the same way, this reality is like a dream. In fact, it is a dream. It's a dream on many, many levels and goes very, very deep. And when we realize that we are in a dream, then we're no longer looking for the dream to satisfy us, but we realize we're the dreamer of the dream. And so then we choose what we want to happen in our dream. And we can essentially do anything we want. And the conversation today is about peace. And one of the hardest things that we can do when we're in this dream with so much seeming chaos right now is bring in the remembrance and the element of peace. I guess it would be like waking in a nightmare. Not that I would say this realm is necessarily a nightmare, but sometimes it is, probably for all of us. But if you were in a nightmare or in a very difficult dream and you were to say, this is a dream, this is a nightmare, but it's happening within my own mind. And so therefore I have the power to change it. And the way that you might do that is you'd say, well, I'm dreaming this and I would like to feel better. And so you would begin to feel for those feelings that feel better, or that remembrance that you're lying somewhere in a bed, sleeping. And then maybe you'd remember other parts of life that are beautiful, and you'd start to infuse the dream with a different energy. And that's what we have the power to do in this dream that we're in right now. And so when we remember that this is a dream, and we decide to remember that we are the dreamer of the dream, and the very deepest aspects, the true dreamer of the dream, which goes back all the way into the all, to oneness, to the universe and beyond, to such deep aspects of knowing and substance that the human mind could never fathom, then we have access to love, to true love, not love that needs, but love that extends. And then we bring into this space, into this dream, the extension of love, the power to extend love, the power to extend kindness and grace and generosity and brightness and awe and consideration and the good, the sacred. We have the power to bring in whatever we want to bring in, whatever goodness we can creatively allow through in that moment. We have access to the mainframe. We have access to our true selves. And at the end of everything is love. At the center of everything is love. Everything converges. Everything begins from, everything ends with, everything at its substance is love. And so when we tap into that deepest place, then we can creatively bring that into this dream And in our own individual lives, we can begin to flow love and flow creativity and awe, and we can begin to see our life, just like our dream, change. And it becomes beautiful. And where once we had lack, we have fulfillment. And where once we had suffering, we have joy. And where we had lack of relationship, we have fulfilling relationship. And where we had self-pity, we have self-empowerment. Where we had judgment and fear and condemnation, we have forgiveness and understanding and the ability to embrace, and we feel open. It's like when we see a flower open, like a lily on a pond, and it's just precious, and you see that lily just drawing in the water, drawing in the nutrients from deep down in the water, and they reach way down into the depths of like a pond, and they pull in those nutrients and up through the water and up through their stem and onto the surface, and they just slowly open with like the preciousness of the sunlight and the wind and the dew, and that process is just precious. It's awe-binding. It's just so beautiful. And that is really what we are. Like, we are so precious, and we are that consciousness, just like that lily. And when we're in this pond right now, this like dark and murky pond, this dream, it's actually precious and beautiful. And if we just can feel the innocence and the power of that lily and just open and allow and bring in those nutrients and that sunlight, then we feel ourselves open and we blossom, and our whole world blossoms, and everybody around us blossoms. And we begin to change our entire dream and the entire world. And that's what I have today. I just want to share that piece of peace and life and that preciousness that's available to us. And it does require effort, because we're so conditioned to look at lack and pain and suffering and fear and condemnation and what we call chaos and the quagmire of war in this world, and it just can feel so oppressive sometimes. And then we have all our genetics and our ancestry and our conditioning, and just, man, it just goes deep, all of the stuff that we have to look through. It's just like that lily that, could be in that murky pond and reaching down into the dirt, and I bet that dirt sometimes can feel like a quagmire of confusion. We have so much, but we can do it. We just keep reaching, and we just keep reaching deeper and deeper, and deep inside is this place that we all come from, and we see it manifest around us in the preciousness of nature and the sky and stillness. And if we learn to read nature, we see that everywhere. Everywhere around us is the miracle of reality. And so today, just ask that your eyes be open and your heart be open, and that you be able to extend rather than contract. Make a decision, and just in your deepest self, and just say, I'm not going to look outside of me today for my fulfillment, but I'm going to allow, and I'm going to extend out, like that lily or like the sun. I'm just going to extend out. I'm going to bring my gifts out. I'm going to bring love out into the world. I'm going to be the one that loves the body. I'm going to be the one that loves my neighbor. I'm going to be the one that loves this moment. I'm going to bring life to myself and to this world. I'm not going to wait for anyone else to do it. I'm going to do that. So open yourself up today to that possibility with a decision that that's what you want. And I'm just sending blessings to all of you. And I'm asking that I be able to extend to you the light of reality and the light of love, the light of the all, of the one, of the true God. And that we feel that and live that and breathe that. And that we all experience a beautiful dream today as we journey along in our path of awakening from this dream. I love you all so much, and I'm sending blessings to every single one of you that's listening, whether it's now or far in the future. It doesn't matter, because time's an illusion. We are all one. Namaste.